Hello everybody and welcome to the second round of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League here in 2025. We're ready for Season 2 and Round 2 of Season 2 as well. After the opening round of the season, won by Tony Jimenez ahead of Dennis Cornu and Luca Verani, it's time to see if we're going to get an entirely different shake-up of things here at the Algarve. It is myself, Ian O'Leary, and Dean Biggles with me for this second round of the championship, and it's good to be back for some more Super Formula Lights racing. I've got to say that these cars always produce fantastic racing, and even at this circuit, I have seen races around here with these cars before in a different league, and I've got to say I enjoyed it quite a lot. So, hoping that this afternoon it's going to be a good race here in this league as well. Super Formula Lights here at the Algarve, sort of a newish Grand Prix circuit if you like, but I think in lower powered cars like these it works quite well.
Good evening. Absolutely. I was going to say I'm surprised that you haven't never seen a car around any track in iRacing, because you've seen just about everything around everywhere. My friend with him years of broadcasting experience that you've had. Good to be back at the booth with you, of course, for round 2 of Season 2, as you'd mentioned here. Look at the weather conditions, partly cloudy, with no chances of meatballs, 21 degrees track temperature, and 41% humidity. 20 kilometre hour winds. I think it's a good day to go racing.
It is, yeah. It's a good set of conditions for this race, as we are just in qualifying at the moment. Just to give you a little bit more detail on what happened actually at the first round of the season. It was at Suzuka just 1 week ago. Tony Jimenez took the victory after starting from third place on the grid by a couple of seconds at Dennis Cornu. Luca Verani got himself up to third from 9th on the grid. From Ridgeway gained the most out of anyone inside the top 5 though. He gained 8 to finish in 4th place. Had a Max Invictus who qualified on pole but finished down in 5th. Alongside him in the qualifying session with Jakub Olszewski, who unfortunately disconnected before the end of the session, finished 10 laps down and so didn't score any points from the opening round of the season. And in fact, only 24 drivers did. Relatively low, but Suzuka is quite a difficult attritional circuit, and so maybe it's expected in some ways. Because we've only had one round so far, there's so little that you can actually learn about this field and this season. But Tony Jimenez got off to the best possible start last week. That is the only thing we can really learn from that opening race. In terms of the wider form for the rest of the field and so on, difficult to know. But having a look at the top end of the town again, look at Jimenez and Cornu, 1 and 2 again in this qualifying session.
Going to be a fight tooth and nail between them at the moment, separated by 9 thousandths of a second. Absolutely fantastic as Tony is on a hot lap at the moment, although not showing any improvements currently in Sector 2. Let's see what he could do in Sector 3 as we're running literally helmet cam with the man.
A little bit wide there through the final corner, so I'm not sure this is going to be an improvement, but maybe it is. We'll see. 33.7 to beat for Tony Jimenez, and he crosses the line. Don't think improving any further on where he was a few moments ago. But Dennis Cornu is indeed in pit lane right now, so he's not going to be improving anywhere from there either. Yunus Amal is next in line. Don't think he was at the opening round of the season at Suzuka, so this is going to be an opening race of the season for him. Of course, they will have drop weeks over the course of the season, and so that is going to help those who have to miss a round or two to get back into the picture. But you can't miss too many, otherwise you will, or indeed have too many bad rounds, otherwise you will be further down the field than you would like. Through the final corner now for a number of the other drivers. This is Ewan in the 14th place for the moment. Coming over the line there through the middle of the road, not improving, I don't think, from that. Oh no, it did slightly improve at that time, but doesn't improve any positions that time round. Yunus Amal has gone quicker in the middle sector and pulls to the right hand side. Certainly believes he can improve here, and only needs to find 72 thousandths of a second to actually jump over Jimenez, and he can't improve. It's not a bad lap time actually, really quite close to his previous best, but it is no better this time round. It looks like Jimenez is going to close out the last couple of minutes with the best lap time in this session.
I believe so. We'll show the session state course timer at the moment. Qualifying is going to be concluded, so any of those drivers that are on their hot lap right now have to complete it. But judging by, you can see the ticker at the bottom there, only oranges for a lot of the drivers. That means they're not even setting personal bests in the dying stages right now.
Exactly. Not many improvements coming through at all here from these drivers. Even Cazorla, he works his way over the line. That's the 33.8. That wasn't actually as far away as I was expecting. In that lap, he was going quite well, but he couldn't improve on his own best, which is the important part at this stage in the session. There's Jimenez letting another few drivers through, but nobody's on lap times from here. He's going to take pole position here. His first pole position of the season. A first round, as I mentioned earlier, it was taken by Max Invictus, who was qualified in 5th place this time round. He actually finished 5th last week, so a bit of symmetry there. Maybe he's going to reverse that this time round. Instead of starting from 1st and finishing 5th, maybe he's going to start 5th and finish 1st in this race. We will wait and see in a few moments' time. Usual format to come here, of course. 30 laps of racing. Adds up to just over 137 kilometres, excuse me, in this 4.5 kilometre circuit. And it should total about 3/4 of an hour of racing for us here to enjoy this evening in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League, as we always do enjoy in this league. Jimenez just working his way through the final few corners, even while the checker flag's waving. The session does carry on for quite a while afterwards, even though nobody can actually set any further better lap times here. Jimenez now is just going to be thinking about getting onto that grid and getting off to a good launch here. It's not the longest run down in towards turn 1, so he'll be hoping that he can launch himself into the lead in the early laps of this race when it gets underway in a few moments' time.
He's doing his formation lap, essentially, isn't it, at the end of the day? So there he is. We know the session's already over, and that is done and dusted right now. As Windows is trying to remind me to do an update. It's not going to happen. G'day, Ramex out there, and Tom Cairns. Evening to you, chaps. Well, there we have it. So we have a grid.
Tuned in. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's have a look at the race session creeping up on us. So let's have a look at the starting grid. Ready for round 2 of the series. It's Tony Jimenez and Dennis Cornu on the front row, ahead of Yunus Amal and Jonathan Cazorla on row 2. Max Invictus and Simon Fessi are on sharing row 3. And then another Frenchman, Ludovic Vincent, is in 7th ahead of Luca Verani. Stefan Dodera and Mehmet Tashi round out the top 10, with Mohamed Boleg and Robert Ridgway on row 6. At 13th place in the field, as we scroll down our grid order, is going to be Carlos Ferro, Badin Avan alongside Richard Van Veen, that is, and also Thibaut Rabelard are sharing row 8, ahead of Van Guren and Rizkowski on row 9. Loris Perla and Eddie Amos round out the top 10, with Austin Baldwin and John McKenzie next. Scott Taylor and Adam Townsend are sharing row 12. 25th has gone to Dorian Arroyo, with Paul Distelli next. Giovanni Solito a bit further down than he'd expect, I suppose, 27th alongside Matthew Gracie, with Mike Ulch and Ben Goyette rounding out the top 30. Then it's Patrick Rowlands and Oscar Artanano, who's on row 16, and Sean Pulsifire, and also Harry Saston. Lewis Albino and Clark Williams are on row 18 together. Clark Williams didn't set a time, and neither did Chris Fales. He will start from the back end of the field. Still a few drivers to get onto the grid here, notably our 4th placed man, Jonathan Cazorla, who is hopefully going to start from the actual racetrack and not from the pit lane. I'd like to see him out there, of course, and he will indeed get out there just in time, ready for this race. It is round number 2 of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League, Season 2 of 2025, and we're almost ready to go here from the Algarve, our 2nd round of the season here in this championship. There come the lights now. Jimenez looking to convert this start off into an early race lead here at the Algarve, as round 2 is set to get underway. And the lights go out and we do launch off, and it is Jimenez with a pretty good start on the way towards turn 1. Cornu not able to stay alongside, I don't think, in towards the corner, and so they'll go single file. Amal and Cazorla not quite side by side for 3rd place. They will get single filed out, and now side by side is a little bit further back. Make sure you're not making active overtakes in these first 4 corners. That's where the purple zone is for this round. You've got to be careful. You're not going to get any penalties post-race from race control. It's Jimenez, though, who launches off the start and gets off to an early race lead.
So far, so good for the rest of the field too. They're all making their way around. Some little overtaking opportunities, some movement between the drivers, but only Robert Ridgway. I don't think he got off the start, actually, of the Ridgway Racing setups, number 17. So we'll see how that one pans out.
So it was a bit brief side-by-side for 3rd, but they've got it sorted out. And they're all single file out the front at the moment. Jimenez, though, with a very good start, head of Cornu, then Amal, Cazorla and Fessi, rounding out the top 5. Zola especially close, actually, to move for third place, quite possibly. As they go over the hill, they rise up there through turn 10 and 11, and then they drop down the other side of the hill immediately there for 12, and then into the hairpin at turn 13. Look at that, the top 4 all staying in the positions they were in. Only one exchanging positions inside the top 9. We must have had someone drop down from about 12th place, because everybody below 12 has gained at least 1 place.
I believe we'll go back to the race start, but as I said, it might have been Robert has dropped down 23 places currently at the moment, so something happened at the race start with him. I thought it was maybe a little bit of a disconnection. Oh wow, 3-1 into turn 1.
Contact in towards turn 1, and it's Amal, I think, who's trying to make the gains, and here it goes 3-1 again, very nearly. Oh, and contact out wide there. Fessi's going to go backwards here. It's all kicking off here on lap 2. A quiet opening lap is now superseded by a very loud second lap here, especially in this group for second place, as Amal, Cazorla, Cornu, Fetsi and the rest of them all fight. Here comes Fetsi on his compatriot in towards the hairpin. Oh, that's close on the inside. Had to get himself jumping over the inside curve there to avoid. Side by side out the other side here for Cornu. On the exit, pretty good run. He'll be on the inside and no, he'll back out. Well, it's getting loud on lap 2 here in this battle for second place.
That's what we absolutely love. Good hard wheel-to-wheel motor racing at its finest, and they are making those gains and overtakes and stuff like that, but they're also not sending each other into the kitty litter just yet. We know it's going to spice and dice at the moment. What Tony Jimenez still has a little bit of a commanding lead in this race currently at the moment for the Spaniard.
He has got a nice 2.4 second margin towards the end of the second lap of our race, as Bessie really puts the pressure on here on Cazorla. Amal is up to second place after all of that, and maybe we're going to see him get away a little bit with that, and you can see him trying to break the toe already. A little bit of weaving around from Cazorla to try and grab it. Fessi is going to get the doubles toe, and Cornu as well will just watch on from behind. He's not quite close enough, but Simon Fessi's certainly going to have a chance here. Now, is he going to go for the move or not? Well, there's your answer very quickly. It is going to be a move from Fessi down the inside in towards turn 1. It's quite close, and Cazorla tries to hang around the outside. Not even Fessi on the inside stayed on the circuit, so how could you expect the Spaniard to do so as well? Jonathan Cazorla, from the Iberian region anyway, apologies if he's not Spanish. Out of the first sector they go, and now Dennis Cornu is queuing up for a go.
Yeah, what's happening to Luca at the background there too? He's making some absolute gains. 2 positions up there. He's battling it out there with the American driver of Max. There's the chain. Oh!
Well, was that contact, or did he drop that on his own? He had a big slide there, and Max and Victor's is going well down the field now, outside of the top 10.
Didn't quite see if there was contact. There's just so much action. We'll kind of go back and have a look at some of the replays at the start there. It looks like Luis Bruno might have gone off the track somewhere. A couple other drivers of Harry and might have gone off the track too. Patrick Rowlands as well. But for now, we're going to keep our eyes peeled right around the Hornet's Nest here, currently just inside the top 10.
It is very busy out in the sort of lower parts of the top 10, as you're seeing here. The leader's absolutely gone, but there is some great battling further down in the pack as we enjoy the second round of this championship through the long hairpin right-hander of turn 14 now on board with Mehmet Tashi. The 12th position, just missing the apex slightly for that final corner, but that's all okay. You can bring it back in time. It's a flat-out corner anyway. And look at the snake there to try and grab some slipstream, as I'm sure they're doing here. Ludovic Ranson is the closest to a move. Maybe Invictus is going to be making a move as well. And there he is, just up in front here, down the inside of Iron in towards turn 1. And never has 2 side-by-side drivers around turn 1 ever stayed on the circuit together here at this circuit. It's just impossible. Invictus does go through though. And that's Tashi, the one who's actually suffering here. Richard Van Veen gets past him up into 12th place. Even further back, it's not possible to stay side by side through turn 1 and stay on the circuit at the same time.
It is. How dare you say it's not possible? Anything is possible, of course.
I've never seen it.
Well, whether you're going to have a front wing or a wheel attached to your car or something like that, by doing it is a different question, but it is possible.
That is true. You might well both end up in the wall if you do attempt it. So everybody uses that little bit of tarmac on the left-hand side there just to help them out. Loris Perla, meanwhile, is trying to get past Thibaut Rabelov for 15th place. This is still very lively stuff here. Just towards the bottom end of the top 10 and just outside of the top 10 indeed as well. Down the other side of the hill they go, and Bella surely is going to be looking at 15th place. Has a look down the inside. Rabelais was expecting it, and Baylor was expecting him to pull over. Oh, that was very nearly very well worked, but Loris Baylor can't get through, and he has to stay in 16th.
Oh, a big one. Clark Williams. Yep, that's actually a straight tow back to pit road, so something nasty has happened here. It's contact.
Oh, he was just on the inside. He's clipped someone, and there's the... Oh, wow! The last little bit of contact there sent him straight into the air. Not sure who the actual contact was with, but he was just poking his nose down the inside there.
That's a new iRacing thing. If the wheels get caught on the other wheels and it spins, it just flips the car up into the air and goes around. That's something that's just recently started to happen with the updates. But you had already had damage in order for that to occur before. It just adds a little bit more damage to your car, unfortunately. Something to be addressed, no doubt, in the future.
Meanwhile, this is Mohamed Boleg on the outside line, just going for... Oh, that was close. Cutting across Ludovic Rausson, who had to stamp on the brakes there. He's trying to get back past Luca Verani here, who's in 7th place. Of course, the runner-up from 1 week ago. Excuse me, 3rd place from 1 week ago. A podium to open the season for Verani. He's up a place, though, ahead of Boleg, and now he's actually a long way ahead. Rausson is going to be next in line. Then it'll be Max Invictus in the queue as they all fight over 8th place. Over the top of the hill they go, wide line in towards turn 11, which is what you need, and then in towards turn 12, which is absolutely flat out in these cars. Will Rausson go for a move? Not quite. He had a look though.
He said the dummy to him. You got to force the other drivers into mistakes so you can just fill a mirror up full of cars and they're looking, and hopefully they're looking forwards and not backwards. But that's what you do. You just kind of throw your car around there, fill the mirrors full of it, and make them kind of not concentrate on their own racing line. It happens quite often. Good drivers do it to other drivers. Concentration levels need to be through the roof.
No, yeah. I'm certainly going to be focused on the way towards turn 1 here. Look at this for 8th place. This could get 3 wide if Invictus wants to really force the issue here, and he doesn't quite. He's going to watch Rausson go through, and he's going to maybe try and follow through here as off the road goes Rausson. Maybe Invictus is going to come back again. Boleg is not quite on the right line here, just taking the slight defensive line, which has actually worked out in the end, and he keeps 9th place for now over the... Oh, that's a bit wide. Over the rise at turn 4. And Victor surely won't be able to take advantage of running a little bit wide there, and he will stay behind indeed in towards the hairpin. So through they go. That's a bit wide from Rausson though. Maybe that position that he worked so hard for in towards turn 1's going to go away immediately here as Mohamed Boleg gets on the outside line in towards the double right-hander. He's going to be shoved out there though. Surely the outside line is diminishing return certainly in this circuit, and Boleg has to tuck back in again.
Yeah, Max is really fighting to regain those 5 positions that he has lost currently, just inside that top 10 side, in that 10th position at the moment, and definitely having to look forwards, having to look backwards. It's a couple of people getting the kitty litter there. That's Ayan. I will butcher these names, unfortunately, but thankfully I have Ewan here to get it correct.
Well, I'm not going to say that. Since I last did this series, there are a couple of new names, so I do apologise as well if I'm getting them wrong. Do feel free to message us, one of us, the broadcast team, so that we can get your name right in the future if we're not already. Out of the final corner, on board with Carlos Ferro, who's watching up ahead at all the battles going on. Have a look at this. Amal and Fessia working together here, it looks like, really. Cornu and Cazorla are not really fighting away either. It's this group we've been following so far that's just been the most entertaining, and it is again in towards turn 1. Boleg wide. He knew he wasn't going to get any space, so he didn't bother waiting to see if he was going to, and so Invictus now is going to have to wait for turn 3 to make the move. Trying to follow through as well is Ayan, by the looks of things, in 11th. Boleg on the inside is going to get that place back again from Invictus. Ooh. It's all going to go... Oh dear, Invictus there just pulled across Ayan there in towards the 5th corner. There's all sorts of weaving round going on now as he has a look down the inside. Boleg, brakes very late, he's wide and through on the inside. Ayan might well take both of them here into 9th place. Badin Ayan on the outside now for the double right-hander, just chasing him across the road. Maybe he can make this work here. He's got his nose in front, and maybe he's got the place as well. Through he goes, through the second part of that double right-hander, and Badin Ayan there making a very good move. Invictus now trying to follow suit here as Beleg continues his big defence here of these latter top 10 positions. Invictus can't do it, and here comes Van Veen trying to take advantage. He can't, and now Carlos Ferro's going to go for it. There's contact, and Richard Van Veen goes up and over and barrel rolling across the circuit.
He's on his lead. He's going to have to tow. There's no way, possibly. Unbelievable. That was a massive, massive accident. Can't even describe that in words. I have to go back on that one even further. These are, they say they're super Formula lights. They certainly fly like they're an airplane. Wow.
Goodness me. Richard Van Veen.
Small children,
not
I would
really for any fault of his own.
Look away this one.
Oh, have a look at this. Oh, no. A bit of a sickener for Richard Van Veen, who ends up upside down and out the race. What a shame for him. He was having a good run. He was trying to take advantage the best he could from that battle. But I'm afraid it just didn't work out that time round. Well, I'll say that. It's not quite done yet, actually. Ewan is in ninth place, then Boleg, then Invictus. So all of that went on behind these three. That's why they've got such a gap to these guys now. But they're still going at it themselves. And there's a double side-by-side now for 13th and 15th. Oh, whoa. Very close to contact. Whoa, so close to Rabelon. And Ewan nearly got into the back of him as well. So it was all going on there on the brakes. Loris Baylor still at the front of this group, though, in 13th place.
Absolutely amazing battles all around the place. They're definitely feisty for the second race this season, as Tony Jimenez still keeps that 2.5 second lead there over Amel, who's just got a little bit car, three-way, four-way battle behind them as well too. So that's, if they get a little bit closer, of course, we'll be pointing the cameras up there. Thank you very much for the kind words out there. It's we're only putting the cameras on where these are the actors that are performing on this stage, and they're doing a fantastic job.
They are doing a wonderful job of providing the entertainment here on Sunday night, as always, in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League. Every week that's not week 13, by the way, here on JPB YouTube channel. We're here on Sunday nights for some Super Formula Lights racing for you to enjoy. So 12 rounds per iRacing season every single week we're here. And indeed, some week 13s we're here as well with some special events. So come back every week and you can enjoy this kind of racing all around the world in terms of different circuits that we go to. As we watch Max Invictus there down the inside in towards turn 1. He's going to get to the top 10, and that will be pleasing for him. The only not pleasing thing, I suppose, is the fact that he's gone backwards from his race start position, which happened last week as well. Meanwhile, Cazorla through on Cornu. That's the first position change in the top 5 that we've seen for a few laps now. Yeah,
so absolutely. The fastest third sector too was set by Jonathan just up the road there currently at the moment, P4, where he started this race. Trying to defend off Den at the moment there of Dennis.
He's just recently lost that position, as we saw, and so is he going to try and win that back, or just try and let Cazorla tie him up to the two who are fighting for second place right now? Although I'll say it's a fight, they're not really going side by side at any point. This is Robert Ridgway again. Fortunately, he had a bit of a difficult race so far.
Oh, left come in.
Here he is. Oh, he's going to get hit there. That looked like there was a bit of netcode involved, but nevertheless, that's another disappointment for Robert Ridgway. I'm not sure if we ever got to the bottom of why he was down towards the back of the first place, actually.
No, I didn't see anything. I'll have to go back to the very race start to see that one from Roberto in a minute. Just see Max is once again in the highlights. He's trying to regain those 5 positions at the moment. These two have been going at 2 for now. You got to remember too, the 22 that he's on the back of right now. Got that fantastic overtake for the 2-for-1 special. At the moment, he might have to yield this one. Classic overtake into turn 1. If you just make it stick, hold on, don't run too wide. You're going to be under attack again, which is exactly the case. Fighting too for now. That's what you love about this circuit, isn't it? It's not over in turn 1. You got to fight for the remaining first sector.
And Invictus is going to try and push him out here. No, he's going to spin. Oh, he locks the brakes and he just about catches it. Oh my goodness. Invictus there was so close to a 9th place run, but now he's just had that small slide and he drops outside the top 10. Mohamed Boleg immediately gets through and into the top 10 again. So it's all changed here. This battle for 9th place just won't go away. And unfortunately for Invictus, he's really struggling to make these positions.
Yeah, he works. He's got the pace, doesn't he? He works to get back up into the action again. Makes a small little mistake and has to do it all over again. Problem is, time is not on his side. We've only got 20 laps to go.
Well, this is a group I can only see getting bigger, actually, in the second 2/3 of this race. We are about a third of the way through here as 10 laps are about to be completed. On board with John McKenzie for the first time this afternoon as he looks to make an overtake on Eddie Amos in 17th position. McKenzie taking part of his first race of the season. He wasn't at Suzuka first time round. Amos was, but he was one of the last running cars. Finished 23rd, one lap down. So we'll be hoping for a better result here today and to stay on the lead lap as well without problems. Out of the final corner in this large group, and who's going to be making the moves here? Lois Baylor no longer the front of this group. That goes to Thibaut Rabelotte. Baylor is closest to making a move here, or is it Tachi? It is. He's looking down the inside at turn one. A diminishing return, a very diminishing gap as well. As Rabelotte goes around the outside, here comes Baylor as well. Late on the brakes, too late perhaps. Oh, he's gone way too deep. And Lois Baylor is going to not lose a position, in fact, but he will just be knocked back slightly in terms of momentum. Tachi is still trying to get past Rabelotte. Meanwhile, Amos and Mackenzie go side by side as well. John Mackenzie goes through on the outside line and they race into turn 5.
You can't miss the Trones car too, for Eddie Amos is sporting once again. This is the battle further back here for P16 essentially, as John Mackenzie is still going side by side with Eddie Amos. It's neck and neck currently at the moment. He will eventually get them, it looks like John has, but now you've got Austin Baldwin thinking that I could do the same thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a Tron reference at the moment, but I can't think of one off the top of my head, sorry.
Come back to that later. Inside line towards turn 11, not quite. Tachi's off in the meantime. That's what the gravel smoke is all about, by the way. That is Tachi, who is now in 16th place, unfortunately. So that's the root cause of all the dust that these guys have just had to drive through further down through the field. That's Andrei Ryzkowski, meanwhile, who has been off at turn 5. Now, is that after contact, or has he just dropped it on his own as he's trying to probe for an overtake here? Oh no, he's broken too late. Oh, and he's running to the back of someone there. Very lucky for the driver in front that they didn't lose their rear wing there.
Further back of the field here. Whoa, late call in front there from Tassel. And we've got contact. Eddie's involved.
Oh, Amos. Eddie Amos goes for a big spin at turn 1. I think that's what's happened when they're trying to... Oh dear, as Chris Vales, meanwhile, has beaten off. It's out of turn 8, I think. Meanwhile, this is Amos. This is what happened. Now then, inside line for him. Oh. He's... has he spun himself, or was there contact there? Well, Amos certainly the only one to go around in the end. Let's have a look from here, see if we can get a better view as to what's caused this. Oh, I think he was sliding anyway, but he was certainly hit at the end as well.
Further back at the sharp end of the timing tower, the battle for P2 still resumes here at the moment. At the Unity Racing number 35 entry there. Under a bit of pressure currently at the moment from his teammate livery-wise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there are quite a few teammates, by the way, up front here for these guys. Fessi and Amal do look like they might be two of them. Towards turn 1, you can see as well that the fact they're working together might be a clue as well. But right now, even though, you know, no matter how much work they do together here, it doesn't look like they're going to catch Tony Jimenez, who is 3.4 seconds out front right now, and he's dominating this race.
That's going to be the strategy at play. These two teammates going to work together and try to just chunk and chip out of that, get that chisel out there and start chipping away at that lead that Tony has. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Eddie Amos goes into pit road, might have some damage to fix on that car after we saw him right out to the kitty litter and a little bit of contact, a hard lick into the chicane as well too. At the back, a nice little battle brewing still here for 13th place. You've got the Swiss driver versus the Francais.
Surely he's going to have a run out that corner. Oh no, not quite actually. Thought his line was a bit better for a nice run, but Abelard able to hold on. And towards the double right-hander, he's missed the second apex there. And Baylor, oh wow, so close. You're almost too eager there as the gravel gets kicked up all over the place on the outside of that corner there. People have been off the circuit already, of course. Baylor now is not going to be close enough for a move where it matters, although again, corner entry is, and through the middle of the corner as well. He just seemed to be quicker, but that's not where the moves are made.
Yeah, so the stones flick up and hit you in the helmet aren't going to be too kind, are they? We need some sort of virtual sim that throws stones at you when you're driving, and Tony Jimenez just sets a fastest lap, but there might be a switcheroo between P2 and P3. Finally, at the moment, Simon Fessi does get through. Maybe team orders at play or not. They're not in papaya orange. So we don't know how that's going to pan out, but clearly they're going to say, okay, I need to get up the road there. We're running out of time as we're approaching halfway through this race to hunt down the Spaniard.
Or is it the looming threat of Cazorla coming from behind, thinking, well, Simon Fessy saying, well, I'm quicker than you at this stage. I'd really like to go through and protect myself here. With Samal maybe struggling a little bit, we'll see. We're not even halfway yet, by the way, so still plenty of time to go for Cazorla to make these moves. It's not like we're in the last throes of this race by any means. There's a very long way to go. Through the right-hander at turn 8 they go, and up over the hill. So we're going to apply that pressure as much as possible, as there's a real tangle back here between Giovanni Tolito and Harry Shaston.
I think this is brewed up a little bit now. Harry's by himself. He's gone off the track. I got a sneaking suspicion he's come back on and hit somebody.
Why is he rejoined like that?
Why do you not on the apex? Oh
yeah. No. Oh no.
That's I think you have to keep your helmet on that one and take a long walk to the steward's office. That'll because other driver was not going to be happy with you, as we're seeing still a three-way fight back here in the hot zone around P13 currently in this race.
Yeah, Tashi trying to get past Baylor, and it looks like it might have worked this time round. So that is a change for 14th place, and still it's Thibaut Ravelot at the front of this group, but in his mirrors there's all sorts going on here. So Tachi is next, then it's Baylor, then Nguyen as well, but look at the gains that they're going to have here. It could be 3 wide very shortly. Baylor might well try and come through as well here on Ravelot, or will he just run out of time? He will just run out of time and speed towards the end of this straight, in towards turn number 1. That's a fire down the inside there from Tachi. Didn't need to go so on the brakes. Actually, Baylor was trying to come down the inside of Ravelot. He saw it coming. Now Tachi's going to have to give him room. There's very nearly contact again. Baylor looks for the inside at turn 4. It's all happening, but Tachi gets 13th place and Ravelot forced to lose that one position there.
Just to forget racing lines, just take any racing line you want. It's absolutely fantastic. Throw the car around too for now. Won't get the exit speed there. We'll have to tuck into the gearbox, as you can currently see. But definitely throwing a couple of dummies around, just making them think they're going to send a late dive, lick the stamp and send it, as Daniel Ricciardo would say. But got to be very careful. You can see just under the dip there how much that the grip just falls away from them a little bit as they hit the lap pedal.
It's a great battle for 13th place. It is now the most lively part of the circuit, actually, or the order, I suppose. This is where most of the racing is happening at the moment. I know that there's a group similar up front, but they're not overtaking each other like these guys are.
Well,
Ravelot a little bit wide there.
Switcheroo
Baylor
again.
Surely he's going to...
Oh!
Yeah, he's going to look for a move. Oh, he's going to get close. He's going to hit him. You can see that getting close into the penultimate corner. Baylor has hit Thibaut Ravelot, unfortunately, this time round, and that has sent the Frenchman off into the grass, off into a spin.
Simon Fessy's dropped back down. He was currently P2, and this shenanigans has occurred now with his teammate because Jonathan Goraza is on the hunt. So he's split the teammates. He wants to join his fellow Spaniard up the road, actually, because I believe he is a Spaniard, because he does have that on his halo, as you can see. So I'll go back and have a look at that for everybody watching. Of course, thank you very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and support fantastic James Parrott Broadcasting Network, as well as, of course, supporting all the fantastic leagues, as iGPFun has been around for many, many years now.
Been with us for quite a few years now as well, which has been nice here on a Sunday night. A constant
It's a Monday morning
for us to enjoy on a Sunday. Even if when we started we were using the F3, to be fair. We are using the Super Formula lights these days. A little bit different in a few ways, but same great racing that we used to get in the F3 cars are happening again, and the same very much here in these Super Formula lights. 14 laps to go, we get to the line. What's been going on back here? Because Fessy is a couple of positions further back than before. It's a bit of side-by-side with Cazorla. That was an unsuccessful attempt at one of those overtakes.
And that's how Jonathan got past Simon Fessy to make his way currently up at a P3. We'll get live pitches, but because that's still brewing, Simon Fessy wants it back now.
Oh, a bit wide. Oh, lap car. That was pretty close in towards turn 1. They'll get away with it, though. It's such a difficult corner, turn 1, when you're around other people, and when you're on your own, actually. This is the run down towards turn 5. Dennis Cornu has got the best view of this. Is Fessy going to have a lunge? No, is the answer to that one. It's actually quite late on the brakes there from Cazorla. Good braking marker and good performance on the brakes, so Fessy couldn't get anywhere. And this battle for third is just allowing Yunus Amal to get a little bit more breathing room. He's by no means clear just yet, but he's just 7 tenths away now, which is a bit of a bigger advantage than he had earlier.
Mike's gone off track here for the Canadian. It was Canadians 25th, 27th and 28th right now. So he's gone right off into the kitty litter. Must be a solo. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's...
Ouch. Oh, he's gone in the wall pretty hard.
That's how you do not run off into the bump. And you're lucky that there is quite a bit of runoff area there. That would have definitely saved the car from severe damage, but the rear wing definitely would have copped a bit.
So difficult, isn't it, to get turn one right, as we were just discussing. You're threading a needle, really. You want to get as close as possible to that inside curve, but absolutely don't touch it in these cars, because that's exactly what can happen. In fact, I don't know many cars where it's useful to touch it, actually, through turn one. You just got to get as close as possible without getting there. Otherwise, you will spin to the outside of the circuit, exactly like what we saw there through and towards turn three again. Nobody close enough for any moves this time round. And as soon as I said Amal was pulling away from the likes of Cazorla, he's actually now been reeled back in again. So Cazorla, the one really applying the pressure here, and he's not going to have a chance in towards turn five this lap, but only 3 tenths behind now.
And meanwhile, as Tony Steele chips away, well, actually adds more layers down to the time. 5.4 now, so these battles behind him just helping him put a bit of a smile on Spaniard's face. And Max is still back at it. There he is. He got close there to Carlos Ferrero, who's now up there in P11. Max now dropping a couple more places, just not having the races that he needs. Got the pace once again. He gets back up to the cars, and then unfortunately just cannot find a way around.
Yeah, just struggles to actually make the moves themselves and keep the positions, it looks like, for Max Invictus, unfortunately. He's having a bit of an up and down race again here, as Nguyen looks for a move down the inside, maybe. No, Lois Baylor able to keep 14th place for now. And Baldwin indeed will be catching up to these two if they fight too hard as well. As we come up to 2/3 distance in this race, Tony Jimenez continues to lead by an increasing margin. Even if Yunus Amal did set a personal best last time round, he's under increasing pressure from Cazorla. Have a look at that in towards turn one. No move will be made through here, I don't think, but that pressure will now be building on Yunus Amal.
He wants to make this a Spaniard 1-2, and he only has to get past one more car, the 35 up the road there, from the flag of, where was that? Isn't it a Moroccan flag again, I think you said last time?
It is, yeah. Tell you what we do need to do, by the way. Oh, well, I'll get back to that. Here comes Cazorla. Oh, look at that run out of turn 5, and he's going to have his nose alongside by turn 7. Oh, that was close. He got the room there from Amal if he wanted it, but he just backed out just to make sure that there wasn't going to be any funny business there. So the pressure now mounting, and now that they are actually scrapping properly here, this group is only going to get closer. You can see Fessy and Cornu getting closer as well. You might see Stefan Dodder and Luca Varani catching up to these guys pretty shortly as well. This is going to get into an even larger scrap before long.
That's what we like to see. Scrapping it out for the final podium positions.
The penultimate corner, Yunus Amal taking a slightly different line there, just sort of cutting off the distance, if you like. Probably does work in these cars because you are flat out through the final corner. Anyway, have a look at the slipstream here for Cazorla. Surely this is the moment now. Mal deciding not to defend the inside line this time round, instead go for the outside, which is an interesting call. Is he just going to let this one happen? He does. So he let that one go. Maybe goes for the cutback and a move at turn 3, but Cazorla will be covering that one off, and that's going to be wide from Amal. Now Fessy is going to want to go here. Surely this is proving damaging for these guys as they try and work out between themselves who's going to chase Cazorla, because the Spaniard has come right through these guys. He's overtaken them all, and now he's up to second place.
Brilliant driving. As, believe it or not, Max was still fighting. He's managed to fight his way back through. So he's back up at a P12. Got to hold on to it, my friend. Don't make any mistakes and drop back a couple more places after that hard work that you're doing. As he's on the tire pipe there of Raccoon, I think, for the Unity Racing Frenchman.
11th place so far for him.
Oh, too deep.
Places gained. Can oh, that's a bit wide. Oh dear. And Tachi now is going to be immediately alongside here. There's the sort of mistakes that we're talking about, the inconsistency from Acton Victors, who clearly has not got the speed, but I'm afraid the consistency not quite there for the moment. Outside line through turn 11, 10 and 11 rather, and he is at least going to hang on to 12 for now. It's still happening here. Tachi on the outside, on the brakes. Is he going to stay for the inside at the penultimate corner? Well, maybe, through a cloud of dust, as Farrow has gone for a spin in front of them. They'll remain side by side. Tachi's still alongside through the next two corners. It looks like he's going to have the place.
They're trying for it, absolutely trying. Not over yet, my friend. Not over yet. Turn 1 may dictate this one. Is he going to tuck in and he'll swing it back out up against a little bit of slipstring? Slingshot, bingo, there it is. Engage maximum horsepower and engage a little bit of brake.
Oh, wow, he went off the circuit there. Goodness me. Very wide from Tachi. Oh, and the Victor's had a peak again. He gets given the room, but he's not given the place by any means. Maxim Victor's down to 13th, though, as there's a bit of a weave around. And yeah, I thought he might have to give the place up. Well, in the end, he elected to, and that was probably the right call there. Tachi went so late on the brakes and so wide that actually he probably did go off track in order to gain that place.
And I just think that with some of those mistakes that have been creeping in from Max, you've just got to stick with him, don't you? Or just try to force him into a mistake. But maybe, mistakes actually have been creeped into Tassie at the moment, so he makes a little error in the entry into the corner. Scott Taylor further back there was making some gains. A huge lock up at the moment. That's going to allow John McKenzie. That's not actually allow John McKenzie's a little bit further back. That's a lapped car, if I'm not mistaken.
It is indeed, yes. I didn't think there were many lap cars actually running, but Scott Taylor is going side by side with someone. It's not John McKenzie. So we'll work that one out. McKenzie goes through meanwhile. And now we'll try and put the pressure on. This is Matthew Gracie versus Adam Townsmer for 20th place. Expect Townsmer to be a bit further up through the field, and maybe he was expecting so as well. He moved through on the inside through turn 11. He's on the outside for the next corner, though. So this is going to be tricky. Battle for 20th place. Can he work? Oh, well, that's a bit wide. Shepherded wide by Gracie, who is able to hang on to that last spot inside the top 20.
Just loving some of the racing here at the moment. Just these drivers just chucking it in every different direction they possibly can in the corners, and somehow at the end of the day it is still pointing in the right direction. That's actually bringing Oscar into play a little bit further back. Arturinho, I believe it is, and another run down into turn 1. Here's Canada versus USA.
Gracie hangs on again, but goes wide in doing so. So that's my problem with turn 1. If you could just have a bit of gravel on the outside there or something, immediately after the corner, then some of the problems of this circuit would be alleviated a bit, but never mind. Out of turn 4 they go, and down on the brakes for 5. Surely this is going to be... nope, no chance this time for Townsmer. And so again, he stays behind. Jimenez goes over the line, by the way. 8 laps still to go in this race.
Something happened to Sean as well too, being a little bit further back, but
down in 28th for Sean Pulsifer, and the way towards turn 3 anyway, and goes for a spin. There you go.
Yeah, I want to go back to this battle still brewing there. So it looks like Fessy got his way back up into P3. Asked his teammate. As Dennis is on the back of that pack, it has been for a little bit of time. One thing to catch, another thing to overtake.
But it looks at the moment like Jimenez and Cazorla are just faster than all of them right now. Whoever they have at the front of this group, it looks like they're pulling away in the race. That's a big swipe down to the inside from McKenzie, who just get past Scott Taylor. So Taylor was going side by side with a lap car a lap or two ago. McKenzie gained a load of time, but from that vision, it looks like he was quicker anyway, and he moves up to 18th place quite easily.
Yeah, further back at the moment, Ben and Robert Ridgway. Robert Ridgway just set the fastest lap. He's been in the pit lane twice already. Last time back on lap 7. Saw the damage that he had on his car, and well, certainly has the speed. There's a bit of a what-if situation, wouldn't have been for Robert Ridgway, because he's 13 positions down, currently running in P25, but he's just battling it out with Paul. Make that 24 now if he can make it stick.
Yeah, Ridgway up into 24th. I think he's going to be slightly disappointed to be all the way back here. Finished 4th last week, by the way. As we go back up to that battle for 4th position where he finished last week. Here's Cornu versus Amal, and Dennis Cornu is going to go through. So a good overtake. Oh, he goes wide as well. Goodness me. Amal's going to want that place back again in towards 3, and I would say he's more than entitled to have a go there as well. He's going to have that cutback line through turn 4. Oh, and a slide there. A slide from Cornu, surely going to give Amal the place back immediately here on the way towards turn 5. It's not hurt his run as much as you'd expect, and Amal actually backs out of it. So that suggests that he was actually almost wanting Cornu to get through so that they could do a bit of a team swap there, but I'd be surprised. In any case, Cornu is up to 4th.
So these teammates are not really working together too well, are they? We've got 3 of them here. You got Simon Fessy, you got Den here, and you got Amal. Because it's going to bring in now Stefan from the Ridgway Racing Astronauts aspiring to be aliens team. There you go. It's a bit of a handful. Oh, as he goes off into the kitty litter a little bit there, trying to catch this pack up the road there. And then you can see Luca just lurking in the background there. So it's still getting close to chunk of change of about 7 laps to go. Start making some serious moves here to finally get yourself a foot on the podium.
Absolutely.
As Max is back in the action again. It's Super Max at the moment. We're going to be calling you somewhere temporary because he's back there on Tassie and Muhammad. Once again, these cars are just inseparable on the track there. They love these battles, no doubt. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, Fessy's off.
Oh, no. Simon Fessy's off in towards turn 1. Now, did he do that on his own with that curb again? Was it that inside curb again? 7th place now. He'll be securing that position. Oh, no. Wow, it's a big snap of oversteer on the way in. And he just grabs the wall. Not a bit of hard contact with the wall, but just as he turned in there, the car snapped the other way violently.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get that quick enough to see it. There. Yep. Well, there goes that chance of a podium. Unfortunately for Simon, Simon, it's just a damage recovery as Muhammad has come together.
Oh, no.
And as he come together with Max, he has.
Oh, dear. What a difficult race it's been for Max Invictus here. And it's only got worse for him. Oh, it was a meeting of lines from Oleg and Invictus. I think that both it's one of those where you blame each other. That one, they both have the same result. Boleg there probably should have been a bit more aware of Invictus alongside, to be honest, having a look again there. Just wanted, you can understand wanting to get that run through turn 4 and a nice way down towards turn 5. However, Invictus there obviously wanted to keep him pinched, and he was absolutely entitled to do so because he was alongside. Unfortunately, the two made contact, so that may well lay at the feet of Boleg in the end. We will see, though, when the stewards take a look, if anything is deemed necessary to actually do. Might just be left as a racing incident, we'll see. But this group has very much changed. It's now a group for 3rd place again. Yunus Amal sets the best lap of the race so far, and it's back onto the podium with it as well, with Dennis Cornu right behind him.
He's trying to secure that podium position, really, by putting that fastest lap in, just to keep the rest of this pack behind him in the dying stages of this race, with 5 to go currently at the moment. Once again, that is that battle resuming for the final step. They're foaming at the mouth for some bubbly stuff.
It's going to be a good finish between these 4, I would expect. Final 5 laps of this race that we're in now, by the way. No hopes of catching the 2 ahead. Jimenez and Cazorla are gone. It's all for 3rd place now. Yunus Amal, Dennis Cornu, Stefan Dodder and Luca Veroni. There is Jimenez. We haven't seen very much of him today because he's been around nobody. Even after the end of the opening lap, he wasn't in a fight anymore for the lead. Looks like he's going to bring this home with all 30 laps led if he can continue on like this.
Absolutely dominating performance there from the Spaniard. The only person he's going to see very soon is the 28th car. I think that he's be looking to lap there of the 555 of Sean. But for now, he's just got to take it easy with that gap. I do think you want to take the trifecta. So he's got the pole, he gets the race win, he needs the fastest lap, and he has to steal that away from the P3 man. And, well, he's got the space, he's got the time. I think he's going to save up one for that.
Oh, he's not doing it. Wow. He certainly had the speed there to do that overtake there, Cornu, but he didn't go through on the inside there on Yunus Amal, and I don't really know the reasoning behind that. In towards turn 3, he's only going to invite more pressure on himself, surely, from Dodera and Varani, who are looking pretty quick in behind him right now. That's a better line as well than Amal managed through turn 4. He's not close enough for a move this time around, I wouldn't expect, on this situation, especially considering when you saw what happened at turn 1. So maybe this is the order that they're trying to finish in, and Cornu is not going to pass Amal from here to the finish, but I'm a bit surprised by that.
Or maybe wait, because he might feel that if he gets the overtake done, he'll be back under attack again. So wait perhaps to the possible last laps of this race, as Payat there says some of them have already drunk the bubbly stuff. All right. Look at the slide in the corner from both the cars. It's just a controlled slide really on that turn.
Yeah, they are just trying to keep things as smooth as possible now at this stage in the race. 3 laps to go. Just keep it smooth, they'll be fine for a good result here. And in that case, Dodera and Varani will be kept at bay, and it looks like they are going to be as things stand, unless they find a little bit more speed. Varani looks like he's constantly getting the closest to the driver in front, other than Cornu, obviously, who's getting close, but he's not trying to make an overtake. Varani might well be, and he's pretty close in towards turn number 1. He has a peak, but he doesn't go for it on Dodera, who gave him a little bit of room. Oh dear, and it's side by side meanwhile for 3rd place between Amal and Cornu, so a bit ungainly, but Cornu is through on Amal, and now Dodder is going to try and take advantage of that. He's going to be on the exit. Oh, there's a slide from Amal. There was no contact. He's done it completely on his own, and he's going to drop outside the top 5 as a result of that, and he's gone back to pit lane.
He's towed in frustration, absolutely. I wouldn't have just yielded that already. That's a chunk of points that are down the drain that you might want to come back at the end of the season and go, I'm going to lose this championship by that amount of points. So frustration, but it does happen. It has creeped in there. Very, very upset with that, no doubt. They're going to have to be bringing that one to the stewards later on. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a quick peek at it from a better camera angle. Oh, just wondered if he lost it on his own or there was contact on that.
I think it was on his own based on the vision that we got first time around.
Losing it, yeah. Just frustrated at himself, no doubt, but I would still stick with it. I would have, as our pitches are starting to break. Back to the action.
Here we go. So the battle for third again. It looks like Cornu is faster than Dodera and Varani, but these two are quite well matched. If anything, Varani looks a bit quicker. He's only got 2 laps to try and get this pass done, though. In terms of those who are having good weeks as well as last week, then Jimenez certainly has got to be one of them. We'll get back to that because Varani is now alongside Stefan Dodera in towards turn 1. He's going to have his nose in front by turn 1 here. Now, who's going to back out here? Or are they going to go into the corner absolutely level? Varani there on the outside, showing that it can be possible to at least try and stay on the circuit. Not many others have been doing that so far. Dodera back down the inside at turn 3. That looks like there was almost contact between them. Now they're up side by side through 4. And they're sliding wide from Dodera there on the yellow car, in the yellow car, and Varani is going to get himself through here. So Luca Varani up to 4th position after a fairly long and drawn out overtake.
Yeah, it's been kind of patiently at the back there too for some time, getting that done. As that downforce game, he did say that it was a mistake. He was trying to force him into that mistake apparently. So, well, that's what did happen. Well, somebody very much maybe singing Smooth Operator very soon, because he's smoothly controlled and dominated this race. Will he be going for that fastest lap right now of Tony Jimenez?
Well, it doesn't get you any extra points in this series, but some bragging rights may be he'll be going for with the fastest lap late on. So he now comes through the final corner. 1 lap to go for Jimenez. Just to continue that point I was trying to make a lap ago before Varane and Dodera went side by side. Looking at drivers who have had 2 good weeks in a row, because there won't be too many of them. See, this man is one of them. He won last week. He looks like he's going to win this week. Dennis Cornu looks like he's going to get his 2nd podium of the season, which would be good for him. 2 top 5 for Varane as well. 3rd last week and a 4th place this week. But other than that, we are struggling for drivers who have had 2 good weeks in a row, to be honest. Cazorla was all the way down in 25th and didn't score any points because he retired before the end of the race. And Stefan Dodera didn't go to the first round, I don't think. Oh, excuse me, he didn't make it through very many laps, though. He did go to the race at Suzuka, but he didn't make it through very many laps, unfortunately. He was one of the first to retire. So there aren't very many names who are finishing up towards the front twice, but Tony Jimenez is one of them. What a dream start to the season.
Absolutely perfect. And we're just saying in the chat there that he is super excited and also a bit stressed. He won't be stressed in a couple more corners' time. He'll be absolutely ecstatic. What a drive.
He will. Great drive from Tony Jimenez. 5.5 seconds. He has been caught by Cazorla a little bit towards the end of this race, but he had such an advantage to begin with that he was just never ever going to be caught as the white flag's waving out for everybody on the circuit, including a number of drivers who have just actually only just crossed the line that we'll go back and watch in a few moments' time. But Tony Jimenez is going to come through the final corner now, and he is going to win here at Portimao after victory by just 2 seconds at Suzuka 1 week ago. This is a more dominant victory from our championship leader. And race 2 goes to Tony Jimenez with the checkered flag and the fastest lap on the last lap as well.
Yep, that's a splendid 1-2 as well too, and the Frenchman will come across in P3. Wow, absolutely ecstatic there. Luca gets that P4. Still, you got to go back to Simon Fessy. It'd be what if he would be thinking about that podium position, but he will end up seeing the checkered flag in P6.
We'll be thinking what if here today. Badin Ayan goes over the line in 7th place, with Ranson next. Do excuse our flag on the bottom of the screen, by the way. It's calling everybody Spanish now. We've not got everybody Spanish. There's Lois Bella just in behind. Look at that. And Ewan and Rabelot very close indeed for 12th place, just 62 thousandths of a second.
Absolutely, and we go back to 17th and 18th there. John McKenzie. Max ended up finishing in that P15th place, so he ended up dropping 10, but he certainly got a lot of screen time, no doubt. But the man that, as I said, that will probably be singing Smooth Operator there. I don't know if his fellow Spaniard, Carlos Sainz, he's coined that term from now on, but absolutely. And hopefully we get to have a bit of a chin wagon with these drivers as well, too. This is celebrating his victory lap. We'll go through those results.
See if they join us. But there's Jimenez with a load of people just in behind him, which does a congratulatory gesture from those guys just in behind. Jimenez going to enjoy this victory. He's taken it by 5.8 seconds ahead of Jonathan Cazorla, who drove pretty well today to get up into 2nd place. Dennis Cornu won that big fight for 3rd, with Luca Varane finishing just ahead of Stefan Dodera because of that late pass. Big gap back to Fessy, who had that spinning towards turn 1 pretty late on. He got ahead of Badin Ayan and Ludovic Ranson late on. Carlos Ferro and Mehmet Tashi round out the top 10, with a little bit further down Lois Bela and Ewan and Rabelot just a few thousandths of a second apart in that close finish for 12th. Mohamed Boleg and Max and Victor finished 14th and 15th after their contact earlier on. 16th place for John McKenzie. Austin Baldwin and Scott Taylor were next, just inside of a minute off the lead. Then it was Robert Ridgway and Adam Townsman running out the top 20. Dorian Arroyo just in behind. This was a big group actually, including Townsman, Arroyo, Goyet, Archinano and Distelli. Matthew Gracie rounded out the top 25, and those who actually only just kept on to the lead lap. 1 lap down, Eddie Amos was with them as well. 1 lap down for Sean Pulsifer, Andrei Wyszkowski and Mike Ulrich and Richard Van Veen actually, who got back onto the circuit after flipping upside down, as we saw early on. Outside the top 30 was Yunus Amal, who might well get points because he's only three laps down. Patrick Rowlands, Chris Bells and Harry Seston will not get points, though. You've got to be within 10%, or 90% rather, of the race winners' laps, and that is a maximum of 3 laps down around here. So that's it for round number 2. Then here at Biggles, a good round of the championship, but another very successful round for Tony Jimenez, who takes the second race victory of the season.
I'll see if my Spanish is good there from Sacao. I think that says Cubanita ver dos Españoles ale arriba. I probably got some of that.
Pleased that there are two Spanish people, one and two.
Beautiful drive, I'd say. Benito from the Spaniards, exactly. So that's your race start recap.
Here's a look at. So one thing I do actually want to have a look at before we sign off, while we're looking at the race start. That's how Jimenez got away, and you can see the battle for second developing there that allowed him to get away by a second or two. I'm going to just have a look before we sign off about Robert Ridgway, because he qualified up inside the top 10, well inside the top 10, but we noticed immediately in the race that he dropped over 20 places here. So let's have a look at his restart. Well, there's a big. No wonder we didn't see anything. That's why.
Yeah, he might not have made it to the grid on time there, or some sort of technical issues, and here it is. So he just has to sit there and watch everybody zoom on by.
Well, I mean, he has been known to do that kind of thing on purpose and just decide to start from the pit lane so that he can have a bit of fun racing everyone down the back of the pack. But either that or it was in error. I'm sure we'll find out over the course of the week from Robert Ridgway. But that is how he dropped so many places early on, and that's why we didn't see it at the time. But a good race for Jimenez again, and I think the highlight of the day, certainly the battles a bit further down, especially early on. The midfield was very lively around this circuit.
It was around that 13th place, wasn't it? Absolutely. And so the biggest gain is in there as well, too, is Ewan in P7, finishing 7 places up there. And the Luis Baja, I think it is, for Spark up 2. He finished in P11, up 8 places as well. There we have it. Ewan.
Yep. Some good drives up and down the field, but that's just about going to do it for us here tonight from the Algarve. This has been the second round of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League in Season 2 of 2025. We will be back next week at Road America as we continue the first run of 3 races on 3 different continents. After Suzuka last week, the Algarve today, and Road America next week. It's going to be a fantastic race because those at Road America very often are in the Super Formula Lights. So make sure you join us back here, same time, same place on this very channel for that. But for now, I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Dean Biggles for this round of the championship, and until we see you at Road America in 1 week's time, it's goodbye for now.